they're not like crushing it. Like maybe they make a lot of money from brand deals or something, but they're spending way more than they're making.
Yeah.
And they buy these like really flashy things to like show that they're well off, but they're really not.
When you truly come from poverty, like it's not an experience that you're like, oh, I want my kids to
go through
experience it because I'm
all.
so rich. Like, bitch, it was fucking hard. Your kids are never gonna experience it because they still have a nice ass house in their own room.
I think one of the reasons why I want my kids to work a customer service job also is to teach them how to treat people.
Oh yeah,
because you can tell when someone's never worked customer service and never gotten punched in the face before. You know.
Back. Welcome back to Big Mood. Did you miss us? We missed you. We're needy. Please tell us you missed us.
Please say it back.
We have today a very special lineup of a very special guest, the one and only Miss Stacey Diaz Alpagaca.
Hello.
Did I say it right?
That was amazing.
Okay, yes.
Yes, that was amazing.
Try to put a little accent on there too. But we also have one of our favy. I just grabbed her crotch. Gina.
It's been a while.
Gina, darling.
Hello.
The one, the only. It's been a while.
She's famous.
Me too.
And we're here with her.
Nope.
And we're here with me, Nikki. We're missing two of our core members because
I replaced them.
One had a baby early. Yeah, Stacey's replacing both of them. So
forget about them.
Used to that. We like it. We voted for it. We all took a vote, and that's what happened.
Tiff's not here because she had a baby, and we were just saying earlier how rude it is.
So rude.
She's known the baby for like 2 weeks.
Yeah,
she's already
not
ditching
even
us. A week,
like 5 days.
Yeah,
you're already ditching us for the babe. You know what?
Right?
Stacey's replaced.
Can that baby speak? No. Can
Does
the
it
baby
know English?
Yeah.
Does it know Spanish?
Does it know English?
Is it
Does
funny?
it know Chinese?
It's not funny,
No,
right?
It's funny.
God, it's so selfish.
It's a little funny. And then our other friend, Jess, is an accountant, and it's peak tax season right now.
Oh, that's right.
But like a real accountant?
Yeah.
Oh.
She's like a real accountant with the CPA license
Oh, okay,
now.
got it.
And we're like, she's like trying to tell us about tax stuff, and we're like, shut up, you're replaced. So that's why we got this crew right now, and it's a party. And what we're talking about today is, have you ever heard the saying, more money, more problems?
Yeah.
And you're like, give me the problems because I can't relate.
I feel that.
Well, we came across an article that is about wealthy people sharing rich people problems that they often encounter. And the author of the article says, I can't stop thinking about several of them. Oh, well, actually, these are kind of bad. I haven't read the article yet because I want to get our genuine reactions to it. But maybe you can relate to these, or if you've been on the other end, maybe you can empathize a little for the person that is having these rich people problems.
If you've ever had these rich people problems,
Call
me.
Yeah.
Call me.
My Cash App is. Okay, so let's get into this. The first one on the list is never really being sure whether your partner actually loves you or only tolerates you because your money makes their life easier.
Oh, damn, that's tough. I guess that is a rich people problem.
That
I
is.
never thought about that.
Yeah.
I'm like, he loves me for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh. I guess in a way we can
Do you relate?
empathize or relate, because not with money, but it's like business wise.
Status.
You know?
Oh, yeah,
Influence.
true. Like, my association with you, their association with me, then they can get some followers too.
Yeah, exactly.
I've never dated anybody in the business and the entertainment business. Yeah, like Danny had no idea who I was or anything. And even when I dated, I never told people what I did for work. And I mean, I'm a smaller creator, you know, so I feel like I didn't have that issue.
Huh.
What does it feel like?
Yeah. Well, Gina can talk about it.
So I've actually never dated anyone in the entertainment industry because I always thought I should keep it separate. So I've always dated like working professionals or whatever. Because I thought if I dated someone in entertainment, they have to be way higher than me.
Ooh.
But otherwise I'll feel like they're kind of using me.
Yeah,
You're not really
like,
sure.
Yeah, like this, like what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I do remember dating one guy who was a professional, but whenever we went out with his friends, he talked like he was my manager.
Oh.
In a way, and I didn't like it. like for instance, someone stopped me for a picture and he looked at his friends. He goes, yeah, she, this happens all the time, but I get used to it and whatever. And you just have to let her do her thing. Oh, do you want me to take a picture? Yeah, this happens all the time with her. And I'm just like,
weird.
Or the friends will ask us like, oh, do you have any time for dinner next week? He'll be like, oh, she's super busy, so I don't know if like we can fit that into the schedule. But like, you have to understand she's super busy and stuff like that. And everything that she does, you really have to just take it and like understand that I'm just like,
okay,
dude,
I'm gonna ask something and then you could tell me if I'm stepping out of bounds. But how did it feel regarding this with the Google Docs guy?
So I remember when I first started talking to him, I was like, you don't need to date me or sleep with me to get whatever you want, like in business,
because you guys started a fake relationship, right? Like it was a joke at first.
Like, and I very much love helping friends out.
Yeah,
like,
you're really helpful.
Thank you.
You really are.
Like we had a mutual friend, Saint, who was just trying to start off, and I was like, whatever you need, let me know. Like I even gave him computer parts because he wanted to stream. I was like, whatever you need, let me know. I don't need anything from you.
Yeah.
And he asked me, he's like, well, is there anything I can do for you? And I literally have told him every time till this day, just be my friend. That's all I need. And he didn't believe that at first. He's like, are you sure? I'm like, yeah, just be my friend. And then when we went through the whole drama, he realized at the end that he's like, I realize now that when you say just be my friend, you really do mean it. Like, yeah, that's all I really need.
It's more valuable than anything else.
Exactly.
At that point.
Yeah. So it's like and then I talked to my friend Charles recently too. And he's like, do you ever feel like people just try to be friends with you because, status and stuff? And I said, yes. He goes, Jesus, that's like the most heartbreaking thing I've ever heard.
I know, that's sad.
Yeah.
So when I got involved in YouTube, it was like not a thing yet. Like, and anyone that knew about the YouTuber world, it was so niche that this was back in 2007. Okay. So it was like, it was very new. Nobody was making tons of money out. The influencer world was non-existent. Nothing, that was not a thing. The only reason I got involved was because I wanted footage for my demo reel, because my agents were like, we can't submit you for anything without a demo reel. And like, it costs a lot of money to do them, and like you can only really get one if you've been booking, but then you can't book without one. So then it's like a catch-22. Yeah. So I got cast in this sketch group that did really high quality sketches, and I could use it to put together a demo reel. And that's how I was introduced into this whole world where I was like, these people have fans and they have like an audience and they're like these huge channels. I like backed my way into this like really big YouTube channel that I had no idea this world existed. So everyone I was introduced to was through this sketch group, and I didn't know that they were famous. Like I didn't know that they like had this thing.
That's how I feel about you guys when I met all of you. Yeah, because I walked into it, and then people were like you guys as supporters were like, oh my God, you hung out with them. I was like, and like they're here, and so I feel like maybe if I would have started as a fan, it would have been weird. Might have been different. If I knew
the world before I started.
But I was literally like,
so I didn't put anyone on a pedestal.
Me
but
neither.
They were like famous. But then I saw them with other people who were like clearly clout chasing or like getting together with them and they were such vulnerable people, because a lot of YouTubers were introverts and they were kind of nerdy like in their childhood, so they're not used to getting all this validation or attention or fans. And so when someone like comes at them that way, like we talked about love bombing in another episode, they really believe it. They really think that someone's there for them, and it turns out that they're just there for the clout and the fame and the like whatever they could mooch off them. And it's really sad. I can't really say that I've had that, but I did have a boyfriend who felt like he needed to bring me down because he thought, and again, this was back when I was not making money from YouTube. Like it was not like a profession yet. I was still waitressing, but I did have a lot of like, there was a lot of fans of that show who would stop me when we were out. Like if we were in a restaurant, they'd want to take a picture or whatever. And so like he saw that and he thought like, oh, I need to tear her down a notch. And it's like, I didn't ask for that. Like I'm not like a person that really likes.
And even if you were, who the fuck are you?
Yeah.
God,
and so he would go out of his way to like try to make me feel small.
I hate when people do that.
Because he's like, well, you're Nikki Limo. Like deal with it. And I'm like, what?
Ugh,
like that doesn't make sense.
I genuinely didn't think I was gonna be like, ay, pobrecitos, the rich people. And that one I'm like, oh, that sucks.
Yeah. Because you like really have to keep your friendship circle small to know who's genuine.
Yeah. I met all of my friends and my fiance literally before I had any sort of clout.
That's so good.
So I mean, I do feel very fortunate because thankfully, like, I have no problem being like, oh, I'll pay for you. I'll take you. Because they were my friends before. Dude, they were my friends when I was like, they're fucking poor.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
So
those are the people that know you.
I feel very, very grateful, you know?
Like, me and Gina both have 2 high school best friends that I'm like, these are still my closest friends.
Yeah.
Because they like know me inside and out, rich or poor, for better or for worse. Like,
I mean, yeah. I mean,
it.
it's not like I'm freaking rich. But for example, now my high school best friend, we reconnected recently and I'm like, start a YouTube channel. I need to freaking post you everywhere.
Yeah.
I want you to make money. I want you to live the life you want. Yeah,
Exactly.
like come up with me. Like whatever little clout I get, I want you guys to get the same.
Yeah.
Or more. Yeah.
I want you to feel good too
The
about
love,
what you
yeah.
have to offer the world. Yeah. Yeah, that really sucks. I can't imagine like someone
I
just
know.
staying with you for your money.
And it's such a common thing too.
Yeah.
That's such a huge common thing where people just date someone for their money. And then after you sign those papers or get pregnant or whatever, they're like, all right, peace out. Like there's that one basketball player that was dating a girl for a while. And the moment she got pregnant or they got married, and the moment she got pregnant, she cut him out completely. And she made it was pretty clear. She made it very clear, like, yeah, I did it. Like it was just with him for his money, whatever.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And he was like a young NBA player too. Yeah.
It is hard to tell the difference. Like if someone's really good at what they do too. Man. Okay. So the second one is, if people know you're rich, they expect you to pay more than what is the price.
Like when?
I once worked at a resort and a service charge was included with everything, so tips weren't expected. But when a known rich couple arrived, the staff bitched about how they never tipped, even though no one at the resort does.
They
like you should
more.
you should be more generous because you have more money. Like it's expected, not.
And I feel like
Not because
nobody
you want
likes it when things are expected.
Yeah.
Like if I want to tip out of the kindness of my heart, that's great. But if you are automatically expecting like a 50% tip because you know, like that's like,
Yeah.
I haven't had this, but I've had people like once. See, this is the other thing when I was talking about like where people see like YouTube or like they think like, oh, like you're famous or like this channel is doing really well. They think you're rich. So at the time I was not rich. We were not making money. I was just a cast member on a show that was doing well, but they equated it with being wealthy or something, and they expected me to pay for everything, like pay for lunches, pay for dinners, and I'm like, yo, like I'm not, like I'm hurting, like I'm in debt.
Yeah.
Like, it's not like that.
I guess the only way I can relate to that is when my ex-boyfriend, in Asian culture, men pay.
period.
Like, you know,
Love it.
most ethnic cultures, right?
Mexicans too.
Yeah. And I remember him saying, he was bitching, like, he was the one that's like, oh, I got this meal, can you get the next one?
Ew.
And like,
was he Asian?
Yeah.
Ugh.
Taiwanese. So it's like, this is so bizarre.
Yeah.
Not
Like,
that he's Asian, that he wanted you
exactly.
to pay.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I remember at one point, like, he kept on, it was like he was keeping tabs. He's like, well, I paid for this, this, and this, and this. I'm like, what the hell?
All of a sudden, he's an accountant.
Exactly.
Yikes.
And then I remember when he said, well, I mean, you make more money than me, so you should.
What?
And I'm just like,
Yikes.
Big yikes.
yeah, like big yikes. Like, yeah, you should be paying for more because like you make way more money than me.
That's so
And be
weird.
like, you should.
It was weird. Like, it was super strange. And he was like keeping tabs. Well, I bought this and I paid for this and blah, blah, blah.
That's never cute.
Yeah, it was just so unattractive. Like, it's just corny.
Because even if you, like, as a successful woman that makes more than the average man, you still want to feel courted. You still want to feel taken care of. Like I said in another episode, even if he's taking you to Chili's,
Yeah.
if that's what you can afford, I feel very grateful to be here with you, you know, because I love you. But
It's the intent.
yeah, it's the intent. But for you to be like, well, take me to a steakhouse because you make this amount of money. Like,
exactly.
Like you're entitled to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That argument came up because we were flying to Arizona and it was $35 for extra to sit next to each other because of the seats were all split up. And I was like, okay, well, we have to pay $35 to sit next to each other. He goes, well, it's only an hour and a half flight. Do we have to? Like, I'd rather not pay $35. I was like,
he was stingy.
he was cheap. And then it's like, I had to explain to him, like, it's not the money. It's if this plane goes down and we die, I want to be next to you. And then he's like, oh, okay, I get it. Yeah, okay, then let's spend the $35. But he's like, you have to understand though, like you make more money than me. First of all, you're not poor. You're a lawyer.
Yeah. You don't work like a regular job.
Exactly. You can afford it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Especially in the same week you're telling me you want to buy a Rolex.
Oh, yeah. So that's okay. This is just a side note, but I don't understand. There's actually like this happens a lot. I've seen especially in the influencer world where they're not like crushing it. Like maybe they make a lot of money from brand deals or something, but they're spending way more than they're making.
Yeah.
And they buy these like really flashy things to like show that they're well off, but they're really not. And then so it's weird when they're like, come on, you make more money than me, and then they're flashing their Rolex or they're driving their Tesla or whatever the hell. I'm like, it doesn't like just be consistent.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's financially immature.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. It could also be that like, you know, like being a lawyer, but then you had to pay you have a student loan that's like twice a double mortgage.
I don't care how much like debt I have. I will never be like, well, I
put it in someone's face.
Yeah. Even as a friend, like if I take you out to dinner, I'm never gonna be like, well, I paid for dinner.
No, exactly.
Can you pay for my movie ticket?
Yeah.
Like if it doesn't come out of your heart, don't do it at all.
No.
Don't even date me.
It makes it so awkward too.
Yeah.
On top of
So
just being
awkward.
rude, but like,
and it's like the shamelessness to be like, well, I paid for dinner, so you should pay for X, Y, and Z. Like, ew.
Yeah, it just feels transactional. It's gross.
Yeah.
Whatever your style is, now more than ever is the time to rock it. But maybe you can just use a little nudge to find some new looks, you know, switch it up a little. That's where Stitch Fix can help you out. It's so easy and fun to get started. Well, first of all, what you're gonna want to do is go on the website and you set up your Stitch Fix profile. You just answer some questions about like, what do you like to wear? What don't you like to wear? How open are you to trying new styles? It's really cool too because they show you like pictures of the outfits they're talking about, so it's, I don't know, if you're a visual person like me, it's like really easy to be like yes or no, I hate it, I love it. Then Stitch Fix's expert stylists will go to work and they find items exclusively for you. Every piece is hand-picked for you and it is unique to your size, style, and in your budget, making it the best way to discover clothes that make you look and feel your best. Stitch Fix will send you 5 pieces to try on at home, and then what you do is you try them on, you look in the mirror, you go, ooh, and then you keep what you love, and then you send back what you don't. And shipping, returns, and exchanges are easy and free, and there's no subscription required. Try it once or set up automatic deliveries. There are no hidden fees ever. You sign up today at stitchfix.com/mood to get $20 off your first purchase. That's stitchfix.com/mood to get $20 off your first purchase. Limited time offer, purchase within 2 days of sign up.
Attention everyone, are you ready to be blown away? Men and women alike asked for it and they listened. Our friends at Manscaped just relaunched the Ultra Smooth package. It's back, baby. Your new favorite tool and complement to the Lawnmower 4.0 to get that smooth shave finish that you're looking for. This specialized growing shaving kit is here to help you buff, protect, and shave your most sensitive areas. It's time to crop that brush of yours and get right to the roots with a discount just for you from Manscaped. Get 20% off plus free shipping at manscaped.com with the code MOOD. Not only has Manscaped brought you the electric trimmer that you and your men both love to use, but they're now bringing back your new favorite razor so you can be set and trimmed front to back. This is the durable yet sensitive razor that's perfect for him and her. I hate having to shave and getting to those really hard spots, and I always end up missing a spot and it sucks, and razor burn is so gross. So step 1, grab your handy Lawnmower 4.0 and shave to your liking to get the loose hairs out of the way, and then take out the perfect package for the summer, the Manscaped Ultra Smooth package. Step 2 is a crop exfoliator, infused with ingredients that soothe, clear, and keep the skin in and around your groin feeling refreshed. The crop exfoliator can help reduce the risk of ingrown hairs in your delicate places. Step 3 is a crop gel. See where you're shaving with a unique clear shaving gel just for the groin with 4 essential oils. It's like a spa treatment every time you shave. And then step 4, it's time to shave. The crop shaver was designed for shaving the groin area with confidence. 3 precision blades include extra wide lubricating strips and a pivoting head for the ultimate groin grooming experience. The crop shaver is not your average razor. It's smaller, thicker with a micro comb bar that allows the first shave possible from any angle. The crop exfoliator and crop gel are both vegan, cruelty-free, and sulfate-free, so you know your goods down there are in good hands and without compromise. It's time to get up close and personal with the best tools for the job, the Ultra Smooth package from Manscaped. Get 20% off plus free shipping with the code MOOD at manscaped.com. That's 20% off plus free shipping with the code MOOD at manscaped.com. Get smooth with the relaunch Ultra Smooth package from your friends at Manscaped.
okay, feeling like you can't talk about certain things with people who don't make as much. This person says, I'm not rich, but I make more than some of my friends. And there have been times when I'll confide in them about something and I get a sarcastic, must be nice response.
Oof, that's jealousy.
Yeah.
You don't want friends like that either.
But then imagine like, okay, so obviously like if there was a girl, for example, if there was a girl here who always grew up with money and she was old money and she was to be like, oh my God, it's so hard because I have to go to NYU and I have to leave like my friends, I'd be like, bitch, get over it.
Yeah.
You never had to do any of the things I had to do. You never had to live in one room with all your whole family. So get the fuck over it. You know?
I do feel bad though because
she has to go to NYU. And
No. But because they have nothing to compare to, like their pain is all they know, right? So like your pain's always the worst based off of whatever life you've lived. So like I could say, you know, I could be really poor in America, but like I'm better off than someone that's starving in Africa or something. And there's always going to be someone that's like, well, you've never had to sleep on a dirt floor. And it's like, that's true, but your pain is still valid.
It is.
So it's like,
it is.
When I know it's hard because like, these are like the 1%ers. And so it's really hard to relate to their pain. But I do have to keep in mind that they don't have anything to compare to. And this is painful for them.
But for example, like the thing is, Kylie Jenner is never going to talk to me about how rough she had it because she couldn't get like a pink Bugatti. Yeah. You know, like she's not going to talk to me about it. Just like I'm not going to go talk to somebody who has less than me about my problems.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I'm not saying like this person's right or wrong. Like I just can't imagine hearing somebody. Yeah. For example, I come from Mexico. I didn't know English till I was 13. Like to hear somebody say, oh my God, like I never amounted to anything because my parents didn't give me money to go to college. I would be like, bitch, I amounted to something. I didn't even know English 10 years ago or whenever, however long ago, you know? So it all depends who you're venting to. So that's tough.
Yeah, that is tough. I also, in general, don't really have a lot of sympathy when people blame their problems on something that's not really why their problems happen. Like, oh, I never amounted to anything because my parents didn't give me money to problems. Like, if there's a will, there's a way.
Yeah, I believe that.
And so like things like that is harder for me to sympathize with than someone being like, damn, I can't pay rent this month because even though I'm working 2 jobs, like I can't pay rent this month and it sucks. Even though like there's people that can't even have a nice roof over their head, you know, like that I can empathize with a little bit more. Like you're busting your ass still and you still can't pay rent, and that I feel for you.
Like imagine if, for example, you have friends who work like 9 to 5s, right? And you guys do what you do for work and you're like, oh my God, like I was gonna wrap my car in like this teal blue, but I couldn't because it was $7,000. I can only afford $5,000. And your friend's like, bitch, I can't even afford my fucking rent this month.
Yeah.
Like, please.
It's the
you have to be
so
self-aware.
removed from reality. They're not self-aware. Like I think I saw a video of one of the Hadid sisters saying like, yeah, when I was growing up, I wasn't given everything. I had to struggle too. Like I didn't get my first pair of red bottoms until I graduated high school.
Oh my God.
And people are like, oh geez, oh no. Like, are you fucking kidding me,
They're
dude?
trying to be relatable.
Yeah. Oh, Jesus Christ.
That's so sad.
And it's a different world.
They can't relate.
They never went through the struggle, so I can't really be like, you're fucking dumb.
Yeah.
But it's like, if they've never experienced it, you can't expect them to know what to say and stuff. But it's different. Like if you came from nothing and became rich and you're still talking like that, you're a piece of shit. Like, you should know.
Yeah, you should know.
Yeah.
Dude, I had this friend. Well, she wasn't like a really good friend, but she was an acquaintance. It was a colleague. And I always like thought we were kind of on the same page. Like she would talk about how, man, she wishes she could buy more clothes, but she's broke. And I'm like, me too. Like I'm shopping from the discount rack at this store, but they had some sales, and I would share like deals with her that I found. And I thought we were kind of like on the same page until she got like her car got like a little bit hit, like a fender bender, but it was like there was like not even a dent, like it was just like barely even a scratch, and her parents just bought her a new car. And then I found out that she's fucking loaded. But she's not loaded. Her parents are loaded, and she always felt like she needed to make her own money. But like she didn't, even though she was technically broke, she never had to worry about like, if I can't make my rent this month, I'm going to be on the street. Like that's never going to happen for her.
Girl, she has a a safety net.
Yeah. Like it's hard to relate to somebody. Like when you come from like literal, like we literally gonna eat hard-boiled eggs and tuna all week.
Yeah.
That's all we're gonna eat because there's nothing to eat.
Yeah.
It's really hard to
when
be
I
like,
met Steve, I was like, I had to pick between me eating or my cats eating. It's always going to be my cats. So my 89 cents went to my cats. And I would steal. He like asked me why I was taking all the crafty and putting it in my purse. And I like was so embarrassed that I got caught. But like, I just was used to that because I don't know when I'm going to see my next meal. Like that's going to have to last me through the week.
Yeah.
So our first date, he, at the end of the date, he slipped. He's like, oh, you dropped this. And he put something in my purse. And he's like, don't look at it now. And then I went upstairs and I opened it and it was a Ralph's gift certificate. He got me $50 of groceries. And he's like to the girl who doesn't, you have to steal from Crafty anymore.
Oh,
that's cute.
And I was like, I'm going to marry him.
Yeah, I would have cried.
We love a provider.
Did. I was like, he knew, he remembered. That was like from months earlier when we weren't even, we weren't in a relationship, we weren't dating, nothing was happening. And like, I just couldn't believe he remembered that. And I had like negative money in my account at that time.
Oh, that's
so I was like,
nice.
oh my God, my cats and I can both eat.
Yeah, that's so sweet.
Yeah, we love a provider, man.
Yeah.
If I ever heard something like that, like a rich person saying things like, oh God, I can't afford to feel my private jet this week. And it's just, I won't say anything, but I'm just going to be like, bro. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's wild.
Yeah.
Okay. This one is, my rich friend has no kids, so he's trying to figure out how to spend all his money before he dies so it doesn't go to some cousins he doesn't like. If I just mention something like, he'll buy it for me immediately, it's ridiculous.
Does he need more friends?
I don't know if this is a problem.
That's nice.
How do I spend all my money before I die?
I mean, I think if you don't like the person, there was a case on TV that came out that this lady left all her money to her dog, and basically she hired somebody to take care of her dog because she was gonna die. The dog was probably like 2-3 years old.
Yeah.
And so she basically hired the dog like a whole
responsible.
team. Yeah, but she didn't want to she wanted to give her money to like her family members because she didn't have kids or stuff like that.
Yeah.
And so she literally like kept the house and like paid people like a company to take care of her dog for as long as the dog lived because the dog was gonna live another 15 years. And I was like, damn, that's wild that people have money like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the plot of Aristocrats, but the person that, I don't want to spoil Aristocats for you, but it's in the beginning of the movie. The rich lady wills her money to the butler, but to take care of the cats. So the cats own the money, and then the butler is trying to figure out how to get all the money. He puts the cats on the streets, and like there are these rich cats that don't know how to be on the streets, and they meet like a street cat. It's a cute movie.
Yeah. Why don't he just, hey, when I die, just donate all of it to this charity of my choice?
That's true.
Like live lavish while you're living and then just donate the rest.
Yeah,
that's
or
pretty
start a fund, like start a charity. That's wild though. Like I can't even imagine.
Look at us finding solutions to rich people problems.
Hire us to solve your problems.
Are you rich? You have problems. We'll solve them.
Yeah.
Just give us your money.
Yeah, just give us your money. We'll figure it out.
We'll figure it out.
We'll figure it out.
Okay, as a woman, it can make it hard to navigate relationships because a lot of men still identify with the breadwinner role. We were talking about this.
Yeah.
People, they can get kind of competitive. They can feel like.
One guy I knew, we were playing this game called We're Not Really Strangers. And the question was, what do you make a year?
Oh, hell no.
And I was like, I don't want to answer that. I'd rather just take my shot. And he's like, and then it was in a group of friends, like close friends. And I was like, I don't want to answer that. And they were like, come on, Gina, whatever. I'm like, I never answered that question. But then that night, for once, I actually did. And the guy that I was seeing, I noticed a very significant change in personality.
It sucks.
Yeah.
No, girl. I play the fifth, lie to your teeth are blue. I don't care. Yeah, because like I don't know how much money Gina makes.
Yeah.
Like if I Google her, I'll probably say like $1 million, but I don't need to know because and even in a relationship like that, like unless they're your husband again, for what? Because then you can. We talked about it in another episode, but you can run into the homosexuals that are like, I love you.
Homosexual.
No, not homo.
Yeah.
Hobo. Homosexuals that are like, I want to date you and you're my sugar mama and like buy me this and buy me that. And you know,
you just put a target on your back in general too. Because like even in the like public eye, I've had people commenting like, dude, Nikki and Steve are so broke because blah, blah, blah. Like they make this much a year. I Googled it. And then, which isn't true. And then I also have people that are like, dude, they're so rich, they're not doing anything with it. I Googled them. They have $5 million net worth. I'm like, that's not true either. But like the fact that it even matters, like in your mind, like that equates to something that I should be doing or should not be doing because I have X amount of money is like, I don't want to feel beholden to that. Like, you shouldn't, no one should have a say in that besides me and maybe my partner if we're married. But so I can't even imagine like dating them being like, oh, well, it puts a new expectation on you. Like you should be doing this or I should be doing this. Or blah,
and
blah,
I
blah.
genuinely think like a man who's truly like loves you and wants to provide for you, he would be like, that's nice, but I still want to take care of you.
Exactly.
You know, like I still want to make you feel taken care of, protected.
Yes.
Like I want to take you out, you know.
It shouldn't change anything.
Yeah. And it's not like I've never gotten the vibe from you that you're like snobbish about your money, that you're like, oh my God, I have the blah, blah, blah.
In fact, we make fun of this bitch because we're like, dude, you have money, get a house, get a something, do something with it. And she's like, she got a plan. Like, she has stuff to do with it. And that's her business. But we'll still make fun of her. Yeah.
Until this day, I figured you had influencer money because I mean, this is the work we do, but I never like this conversation is the first time that I'm like, oh yeah, Gina's probably rich as fuck. But I had never thought about it like that. You know, I was just like, oh yeah, we all make around the same. I don't know how much that is, but we all make around the same.
To be honest, it's smart because you should be living under your means and then investing that shit and like creating assets that provide, cash flow.
In your dating world, don't talk about it.
Yeah.
Fuck that question.
Yeah. As far as I'm concerned, no matter who asks, I always tell them I'm fucking poor.
Yeah.
You know?
Same.
I still drive a fucking Honda
I'd rather
Civic.
Same.
Yeah.
I love my Honda Civic too.
my Honda Civic.
Dude, I was so happy you drive a Honda Civic too because I had to borrow your car last time. And I was like, I don't know how to drive this. Except yours like talks Japanese to me. So
that's right.
How cute.
I was like, okay. I'm in an anime.
Yeah.
It's just
it's
better.
weird.
It's better off to just not know that question.
Yeah.
To not know the answer to that question. Because it shouldn't change anything.
I mean, eventually you're going to get married and you're going to have your partner and then they'll know, you know, but at that point I feel like you'll know them enough to share that information.
And on the other end too, like if you're going to get married to someone, you guys better know each other's debts.
Yeah, you do. Because you're marrying it. And if you divorce, you're taking half of it.
Oh, yeah. And you just have to be okay with like if one of us makes a financial choice, like we're in it together. Like we need to make all the financial choices together from here on out. And if something happens, there can't be blame on like the end result.
Yeah, that's tough.
Okay. This one is, there's definitely a problem of people taking advantage of being your friend for privilege over your stuff.
Ooh, yeah.
Huh.
Like?
My ex used to throw in my face all the time. Well, I do your legal work for you and I pay for most meals. And I was like, okay.
And?
And so like that was always his default whenever we argued. But I don't keep tabs because I think that's corny. I'm never going to throw anything in your face, right?
Yeah.
But towards the end of the relationship, when I found out he cheated, he's like, yeah, well, find someone else that does your legal work. I was
easily.
like,
a lawyer. Yeah, like most people do.
Yeah, I can.
Yeah.
He goes, well, find someone to do it for free. I'm like, I don't need to because
I can
afford a lawyer.
The
Like,
fact
you're
that
not a dime a dozen,
right?
You know?
You're like, I drive a Honda Civic. I can afford a lawyer.
Yeah, right.
I'm saving money.
Exactly. And then it finally came down to I was so pissed that he would throw that in my face again. So I told him, I was like, cool. So you listed 2 things you did for me, right? Find someone else that can get you into every club for free, never had to pay for a drink, get all the things that you want influencer stuff for free, every movie premiere you wanted to go to, everything, like all this shit that you never had to pay for.
And that's his thing too. Like he likes going out. He loves that shit.
Yeah, he loves the image. Or like if there's something that he wants from a brand, I'll reach out to them, you know, like, and I just get him everything. And find someone who buys cleaning supplies to clean a fucking apartment she doesn't even live in, you know? And then also find someone else on TV. Yeah. Go ahead, find it. Yeah. And like, I don't ever want it to get down to that. But then what he said to me was, yeah, well, none of those things came out of your pocket, so it doesn't count.
Ew.
What? These are privileges and perks of my career that I worked 12 years for that I'm sharing with you.
He's going to say his legal work that he did, which is his career.
And he wanted to charge me towards like later on. All this stuff that I did for him, and he had a business that I promoted too, I did for free. You know, but he's like, well, you know, it's kind of unfair because like I need to start charging maybe just a small rate. And then But it's like, it comes down to, yeah, I didn't have to pay for most of these things or whatever, but I could be using it for myself, for my loved ones, for whatever. But you're just sitting there saying, well, it didn't come from your pocket, so it doesn't matter.
Okay, that one, when you brought up promoting, that's one I can relate to, where like people didn't want to use my stuff, but like I'd always have like random like people that weren't even my friends asking me to promote their new song or their new shit or whatever. I'm like, they come out of the woodwork to like ask you to promote shit. And I love promoting my friends. I was wearing Gina's merch earlier because I fucking love, like, if someone has something, I'll wear. I love Stacey's jewelry. Like, if someone has something that they're selling and they're my friend, I'll fucking buy it. I don't need them to give it to me for free or anything. I'm just like, go buy my friend's shit. Go watch my friend's show. I just love that my friends are fucking doing things. But when you, like, haven't shown any friendship to me, like I met you and we hung out once or whatever, and then you come out of the woodwork and ask me to promote your shit, it's like, I feel weird, man. Because like, you know, companies pay us to promote it. And that's not a secret. Companies pay us a lot of money to promote their brand, which is cool. That's how we make our money. But like, giving it for free is like, it is a friendship thing that I think people don't realize how like that is part of our job. Like that is how we make money. Like on this show, we have sponsors. We talk about the sponsors, and I genuinely love our sponsors. I genuinely use their stuff, but they're paying us to tell you about it too. And so when we talk about someone or listen to my friend's stuff, it's like, it should be a genuine thing, not because I feel like guilted because you knew me and we hung out once and you complimented my hair, and so now I should like promote your thing. But people do feel entitled to it, and people do feel like, come on, like what's the big deal? Like it's not that hard for you. Like you can just make one post. Just like make one post. Like, bro, I haven't posted in like 3 days. One post is like a third of my feed for the month. Like,
what is it? I like when it's our genuine friends, we promote it without even having to ask to. I just do it randomly sometimes. But like you too, like people just come out of the woodworks. Like an ex-boyfriend came out of nowhere. He's like, hey, Cookie, now that you're a big deal, do you mind promoting my blah, blah, blah? And I was like, no. And he tried again 2 years later. I'm like, bro, get the fuck away from me, man. Like, it just feels gross. And it starts from the very beginning too. Like when I started modeling when I was 17, going to senior year, and I started, and then this girl just randomly messaged me out of nowhere, like, hey, can you help me with my modeling career? Can you post my picture? Or like, whatever, like, can you get me a photographer? And I messaged her back straight up. I'm like, you and I haven't even spoke in this whole entire fucking year. And you don't even say, hello, how are you first? It's, hey, can you get me this?
That exactly is it.
Yeah.
It's like, there's not even a trying to be a friend first. It's just like, hey, you can do this and it's easy for you. So can you do it for me?
Yeah.
Like, why won't you do it for me? Why wouldn't you?
Yeah.
It's easy for you.
And I have friends now where I'm like, even if I don't talk to you enough, a lot, I know, like, I know our friendship and they know my friendship or with them or our friendship, where it's like, on the other hand, like, I don't have to go through the niceties of like, hey, how are you? What's going on? It's more like, dude, just ask me what you want. You know?
Exactly.
And that's exactly what
because
I do
it was
with my
earned
close
already.
friend. It was already earned. Like my girlfriend, Anna, that my best friend from high school, lives 2 miles away from me. She doesn't have to, like, I see them like once a month.
Same. Like,
right?
Not even that. Maybe we text each other once a month.
Exactly. But then if she were like, hey, can you promote this for me? I'd be like, yeah, sure. Like, I don't need you to go through those niceties. But if you're someone that I haven't spoken to for years and you're just like faking a conversation just to get something out of me, like, dude, that's gross.
Or like, sometimes it doesn't come till the end where they're like, it seems like they're just reaching out. Hey, I was just thinking about you, blah, blah, blah. How's this? How's that? Oh, you guys just bought a house. How is Vegas? And then at the very end, it's like, so yeah, I just started this new business. And I was like, I was wondering if you could just like give me a shout out, or like, oh man, you were just faking that whole conversation. I thought you were like genuinely reaching out. That's stupid.
That's ugly.
Yeah, it doesn't feel good. So I could relate to that part of this. Okay, the next one is, I have a very wealthy friend, and seeing firsthand how all your poorer relatives move closer to you and start asking you for things and money blew my mind. Everyone from siblings down to the ex-boyfriend of a second cousin will straight up demand he buy them a vacation home. When he inevitably says no, they go scorched earth policy on social media and talk about how selfish he is and how he disowns his family for money. Then a month later, they're back begging on his doorstep. It's exhausting, and I'm just watching from the outside.
Oh my gosh, that's insane.
That's crazy.
So I can't relate to that, but Eminem sings about it all the time. So I feel like I relate.
All of a sudden you have so much family. I remember what I struggled with before when I was dirt poor was when I would date people who made more money than me, and their first gifts for me are like extravagant, this and that, and then they're like, but you know, you don't have to get anything equal to it, which I understand they're being very genuine, but me, I'm like, oh, I feel so bad.
How do I compensate for this?
Yeah, exactly. So I just thought about that one.
I just can't imagine ever like going up. Like I have relatives. I have an uncle who's like very well off, and he wasn't always well off, but like his business took off. And so now he's like rich, or his family. And so I can't imagine ever being like, oh, can I have money for this?
Yeah.
Or can I have money for that? Like if they offer a gift, wonderful. But like I have never been like, oh, uncle, because I know you have money, can you give me money for this or that?
Yeah.
Like it's crazy.
Yeah. Oh, I had a relative like that once. Yeah, because I went to go visit their family, and their mom is a single mother. She lost her husband, single mother raising 3 boys.
Wow.
Living on a hairstylist income.
Okay.
And so I saw, and I was like, okay, so I'm just going to Amazon order a bunch of things that she needs for the house, you know? Like their house got broken into twice because they don't live in the best neighborhood. Yeah. So I got cameras installed, you know, and like stuff to just make her life easier. And then, you know, I haven't seen her kids in a while, you know, they're adults now. And, you know, I'm catching up with every one of her kids. And then a week later, one of her kids messages me saying, hey, are you free to talk? I need help. Like, I need someone to talk to. I'm like, oh yeah, sure. What's going on? And he was telling me like, yeah, I ran this red light or something, whatever, and I need $500. And I was like, oh no. Oh, this is not going to start like this. And then so I was like, I don't want that kind of relationship, because once it starts, it doesn't stop. And it gets weird. So I just made up something like, sorry, I just paid like $50,000 down payment for something, so I can't, like, I'm not starting this relationship with you because you are fully capable, you know? And the week before, he had just told me, yeah, you know, I'm starting to date this girl now, but it's kind of a struggle because she loves like designer stuff. So I'm trying to provide that for her.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah. And I was like, okay, no, we're not doing this.
That only happened with a family member who was an addict in my family. And for some reason, they kept getting parking tickets, and they couldn't ask anyone else for help except for me. And the first time I gave them money, and they were like, I swear I'll pay you back. I'm getting money this week from my job, blah, blah, blah. I just need it. Like, I just don't want my parents to know, blah, blah, blah. And then I never got it. And then I didn't want to bring it up. It was $80 or whatever. And then like the next month, same thing. I was like, I got another parking ticket, and like I really just like this parking's crazy out here. And I'm like, you need to learn how to park better, dude. Like I can't just keep giving you money for parking tickets. You didn't pay me back the last time. And I know that they had a problem, but they would lie, like, you know, because they do that. So that's the only time where I've dealt with that kind of thing, where it's like, man, you want to be nice, and you know that they are hurting for money, but also they have other things that they're spending it on. Yeah.
I feel like it also, it works with praise too, because I remember when I first was releasing my first clothing collection, one of my family members was like, one of my close family members too. I was telling them like, I'm so excited about this. I hope it goes well. They're like, okay, cool. And then once it like sold out, like immediately, all of a sudden they hit me up. They're like, oh, I'm so proud of you. And posting on Facebook, I'm so proud of blah, blah, blah. And I'm just like, dude, you suck. Like, do you need more? Like, how about I invest in it for you? And I'm like, no, I'm good.
Yeah, too late.
Yeah, too late. It's weird.
Support when we need the support, you know, like before it's a thing.
When you start on your health journey, it's really easy to be overwhelmed by all the information the wellness industry throws at you. But Noom believes the only place that you really need to start is with your mind. Yeah, your mental, everyone. Listen up, people in the back. A couple things I like about Noom more than any other program that I've tried is, one, it really focuses on a behavioral approach. So like changing your mental to change your habits, which your habits will in turn change your lifestyle, which will in turn change you to be the person that you want to be more than the person that you are now, maybe that you're not satisfied with. So one thing that I realized that I do is I stress eat all the time. Like I anxiety eat. If I have boredom or anxiety or stress, I am grabbing snacks and I don't even know I'm doing it. So I was keeping a food journal, like as suggested by them, and then also just like being really cognizant of when I'm reaching for snacks. And it really helped a lot, because instead of reaching for snacks now, I just like do some meditation, take a couple of deep breaths, realize I'm not actually hungry. I also do the same thing in social situations because of anxiety. I felt like I always had to have a drink in my hand or food in my hand. I always had to like be doing something consumption wise with being in social situations, and it's just not healthy. Okay. And then the other thing I really like about Noom is that it fits into my schedule. It's like 10 minutes a day. Who doesn't have 10 minutes a day? You just like, you live your life on your terms. You know what I'm saying? There's no like, oh no, I gotta go block out 2 hours to get this workout in. You know, it's just like, I'm getting exercise, I'm changing my habits, I'm feeling good about myself. So start building better habits for healthier long-term results. Sign up for your trial today at Noom, Noom.com/bigmood. That's Noom, Noom.com/bigmood to sign up for your trial today.
We deserve to know what we're putting in our bodies and why, especially when it comes to something that we take every single day. I'm talking about vitamins. They're always telling you, you gotta take your vitamins, but they don't tell you the difference in quality. And believe me, there's a huge difference. So I started taking Ritual vitamins in 2017. Oh my God, it's been 5 years. Wow. Also, I've been taking the prenatal one since 2019, and I have noticed a drastic difference. I know that's really anecdotal, and you're right, but I took blood tests before I started taking Ritual, and I was super, super low on vitamin D, and my doctor was very concerned. She was even like, you got to double up on that D, and I was like, oh no, and I was really stressing, and then I took blood tests 2 years after I started taking Ritual, and it was a totally normal vitamin D score. So I know it's really anecdotal, but gaps in the diet shouldn't be ignored. Over 97% of women aged 19 through 50 are not getting enough vitamin D in their diet, and 95% are not getting the recommended daily intake of key omega-3s. Did you know that? Ritual's Essential for Women 18 Plus multivitamin was formulated by exhaustive research to help fill those nutrient gaps in the diets of women 18 and over. It's formulated with nutrients to help support brain health, bone health, blood health, and provide antioxidant support. That's a lot of health. But Ritual didn't stop there. No, they invested in a gold standard, university-led clinical trial to prove the impact of Essential for Women 18 Plus multivitamin. And the results? Essential for Women 18 Plus was shown to increase vitamin D levels by 43% and omega-3 DHA levels by 41% in 12 weeks. That's only 3 months. It was published in the Frontiers in Nutrition, and Ritual is committed to third-party testing from USP and the Non-GMO Project. It's traceable and vegan-friendly ingredients and always clear communication, no shady stuff. And right now, Ritual is offering our listeners 10% off during your first 3 months. Visit ritual.com/bigmood and turn healthy habits into a ritual. That's 10% off ritual.com/bigmood. Dude, okay, so figuring out how to give your kids everything they want without turning them into spoiled brats who are messed up for life. That one must be hard.
Yeah.
Because I told Steve, I was like, if we're ever like multi-millionaires, we have to make our kids think we're poor.
Yeah.
Like somehow we're going to rent like a separate place and like only live there until they're 18.
Mm-hmm.
Because like, I don't know you need to have the kids learn the value of $1.
Yeah.
And I don't know how a rich family would do that.
I know with Asian families, when they have a lot of money, a lot of them are like, we just want our kids to focus on studies. So we'll take care of everything while they're going to school.
And that's where the hard work comes in.
Yeah. They never had to have a day job.
I like that.
Or like they never had to work in customer service. And
Yes.
it's like, you need to have your kids earn their money.
Work at everyone should have to work in customer service, a service job for at least 2 years.
So look, I'm going to hit you guys from the other side.
Okay.
Not like I grew up with money. I don't have all the money in the world. Like my kids are still going to have to learn values because we're not rich. But to me, it's like if and when we make it to a point where we have so much money, I don't want them to go through what I went through because it was fucking hard. And the trauma I created to like, there's times where I wouldn't even finish food on the pantry because I'm like, I don't know who's coming in next. And I don't want them to like, even though we can easily go get food now, but I don't want you to be like, oh, it's empty. You know, like I still constantly have to have it stocked up so that Denny now doesn't feel like it's empty, right? When he has never thought about that, you know? So I'm all about, make them get like jobs, but I feel like maybe we didn't grow up like that, but rich people, their kids also work. They're just working as interns for like in law firms or interns for CEOs, you know, when they're 17, 18 years old. So they're learning how to be CEOs.
Right.
As opposed to people like us who grew up working in supermarkets, who grew up working in I don't know, restaurants and things like that. We learn how to be employees.
That's true.
Oh, that makes sense.
That's very true. If it was like that, where they're actually working and they're not just like, all right, we'll give you a job. And like, it's like kind of a, what's it called? The when you get in a job because nepotism. It's not just nepotism. Like you automatically get to be manager because your dad owns the company or whatever. Like if it's like they're sincerely starting from the bottom, working their way up, learning how to manage people from like the bottom up, and they're learning things, then I'm okay with them not having to have worked at a supermarket first or whatever. But if it's just like they expect to be handed money because I spoiled the shit out of them when they were 8 years old, and like they just grew up always getting handed money all the time. They never had to do chores, never had to do anything to like see how money is earned, then I think that's really hard.
And that's a parent thing. Parenting thing, not like a kid thing, right? So you are responsible for not just giving them money, right? So like even if you're rich or you're middle class, you teach them the value of the dollar by making them do things, right? Or teaching them how to invest. I would have loved for my parents to know how to invest, so I wouldn't have had to figure it out on my own.
That's so true.
Right? So like instead of teaching me, okay, do this chore and you're gonna get $5, it's like, okay, do you want me to keep one of your dollars, and then if I keep it next week you'll get $5 for that $1?
Yeah.
You know, so like just things like that our parents grew up in survival mode and they didn't have access to. But if I'm rich, I don't want my kids to have to struggle so they know, because it would be fake.
Yeah.
You know, it's not true. It's not real. I'm not going to be like, well, let's go to your auntie's house who doesn't have money so you see how lucky you are.
Yeah.
Because then you create like rude ass kids.
Yeah. You'll create a disparity between us and them or what.
Yeah. Like, oh, hey, cousin, you're poor.
It's always, it always should be that way of like you trying to do like just one step better than what you had to go through growing up. But I am really thankful. So we grew up really poor, but my parents grew up even poorer. So my dad came from immigrants. My mom came from basically immigrants to like her grandparents, and they were both in poverty like growing up. When I was born, I lived in my grandma's garage. My parents were they barely even started college. So like my mom had to drop out to raise me, but my dad decided to finish, and he gave up his dream of being a baseball player to become an accountant. And my mom was working as a teller at a bank. And so they started at entry-level jobs, but he is now a CPA and she became the vice president of a bank. So they were in finances, and growing up, even though we were poor, they were learning and they were teaching as they were learning. So my dad, and I'll never forget, he taught me how to stay out of debt, how to build a credit score, how to take advantage of interest, how interest works. So what he would do is like if he needed to borrow cash, we had our allowance money and I had my piggy bank, and he's like, I need to borrow $5. When I give it back to you, I'm going to give you $5.25. And that's how interest works. When you borrow something, you have to pay interest. When someone's borrowing from you, they have to give you interest. And he taught me how like investing works because of that. But he didn't go the full like stocks and everything, but just that little bit when I was like 8 to 10 years old, it stuck with me, because I always, if I borrowed money from a friend, I would give them back. If I borrowed $20, I give you back 25. If I'm giving my money to something, I kind of expected interest to be made. So yeah, I do think that those little things, and I want to teach my kids how to invest.
I feel like I'm
assets.
at the place where your parents were. Like I feel like me and my relationship, I'm there, and we will teach our kids how you were taught, you know. But it's like, when you truly come from poverty, like it's not an experience that you're like, oh, I want my kids to experience it because I'm so rich. Like, bitch, it was fucking hard. Your kids are never gonna experience it because they still have a nice ass house in their own room,
and you don't want them to.
Yeah,
like,
you
have
truly
to deal.
don't. It's not an it's not Disneyland. Like it's not like I want my kids to go hang out with poor kids so they see.
And that's how my parents were. They were exactly like that. Where they're like, I never want my kids to go through what we went through. And they worked their ass off to get a house where we could have our own rooms. Started in my grandma's garage, and then now we have our own rooms in a house. That's amazing, and I will forever be
and
grateful
you didn't
for
grow
that.
Up spoiled.
No, but I will say that my brother and I both raised by the same parents. I'm older; he's 5 years younger than me. I had a scholarship to college. I was really good with grades, blah 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 blah, and I decided that wasn't my path. I'm going to drop out and go pursue acting, and I'm going to pursue it just like I would college, because I see college as an investment for your career. I'm going to invest in something for my career by going this other route. They didn't see it that way. They saw college as the end all be all. Like, you have to go to college in order to get a good job, because that's how they got
They're good jobs.
That's how, exactly. And that's how they got out of poverty. And so they were scared for me. So as tough love, they're like, if you go to college, we'll pay for everything. If you don't go to college, you have to pay for everything yourself. And I was like, okay, that's fine. I'm going to pay for everything. I got 3 jobs. I worked my fucking ass off. I was like, I never had money, but I was so focused on making that happen. My brother decided, I'll take the free ride. I'll go to college. He never got good grades. He got straight C's, but they were going to pay for everything. So, okay, I'm going to go to college. I don't have to work a job. All my food's paid for. There's no consequence other than like, they made it so easy because they just wanted him to focus on school. But after the schoolwork's done, he's bored. What is he going to do? So he got into trouble, and he would drink, and he would he didn't do what it took him 7 years to get through college, and then he didn't use his degree for anything. And so that was a lot of money those 7 years, and it wasn't being used for anything because they didn't force him to learn time management or working or whatever. So they can see the difference and the balance, and it's like I don't blame them at all, because how could you even know? But me seeing it, I'm like, damn, I don't want to coddle my kids to the point where they can just be lazy and fuck off and think that everything's paid for. And now he doesn't know how to handle himself. He does now. He's doing well now. He's married. He has a kid. He has a job. But it took him a while to get there. He's 30 now. And so like, I saw the struggle of not having trained his brain to like be responsible, have a consequence if you can't make rent at the end of the month. There's debt, there's things that you have to go through. Your credit score can get fucked up. Like, he never had to learn any of that firsthand. He had to learn it way later in life. So I'm like, okay, there's got to be a middle ground.
It's a tough middle ground.
It's a middle ground. I think one of the reasons why I want my kids to work a customer service job also is to teach them how to treat people. Because you can tell when someone's never worked customer service and never gotten punched in the face before, So it's also like, it's like a responsibility. It's like character development, you can
put your kid in sports for that too, like you'll learn a lot in sports.
That's true.
I learned all of that in sports and working a fucking job, but but I mean, like, to me, the way I see that, it's like I want my kid in sports ever since they're little, because that's where they're going to learn time management, reliability. That's where they're going to learn discipline. So it's just when, and I don't know how to say this without sounding weird, but when people who have money say, I want my kid to experience poverty.
No, not that.
Not poverty. Not poverty.
It just, like, it comes off rude, you know? Because I was like, bitch, it wasn't fun. Like, you don't want your kids to really experience it. So, customer service obviously is not poverty. That's like a job anybody can have. It's just, when I hear that there's kids who inherit their parents' like finance team, right? So like, let's say the parents always had to find like 3 accountants and like a person telling them what to spend money on, and then the kid grew up watching that. The kid who grew up watching that and giving those benefits, and the kid who grew up in McDonald's and worked himself up to be a manager, they might have the same work ethic, but one's never going to get the opportunities that the other one got.
Right.
Because they, like, this one learned responsibility from watching his dad be like a good worker and like a good CEO or whatever. And this one had to learn being the manager of a McDonald's. Great jobs. But I mean, one's never going to amount to the other one. And then it just sounds weird when you're like, oh, I want experience.
Yeah. I think the customer service thing is definitely what she was saying. Where like, I just want them to know what it feels like to serve, or like to be in that realm where you have to deal with people in a cordial way, in a way that like, you're not always going to get what you want or what you want to do or what on your time. I think people that don't work customer service and then they come into a restaurant, they're like, oh, the waitresses are slow. What do you mean I can't get sat? Because there's tables open. Like you don't know how a restaurant works then. And
exactly.
like you can't be like so entitled to everything without knowing what it's like on that other side. But if that's what you were always taught, because your family always taught you that, then you're going to think that you should be sat right away, that you should have like your refills done exactly on time when you want to do it. And this is a bad waitress and she doesn't deserve a tip now because she didn't get everything you wanted the way you wanted it. And I think there's like, I don't know what that fine line is. I definitely don't want my kids to feel like they don't know when their next meal is. But I do want them to feel like there's some sort of consequences for their actions if they decide to fuck off rather than to put their responsibilities in order.
And that's with more than just money.
Yeah.
You don't that's your parents' job to teach you that, right? Because then there's poor kids that treat service workers like crap. Because when they finally get $100, they're like, I have $100. I should be able to do whatever I want in this restaurant.
That's so true.
So it's not a money thing. It's an entitlement thing, you know?
All right. Well, that is our episode today. Wow. Let us know in the comments. Did you grow up rich? Did you have rich people problems? Or did you grow up poor and now you came into money and you have a whole new set of problems you didn't know existed? Or are you you're like, I'm poor. I can't relate to any of this shit. Fuck all of you people. I'm out. Let us know your thoughts. We'd love to hear it. Also follow Stacey everywhere. She's awesome. She has so much good life advice to give you on almost every platform, on YouTube, on TikTok, Instagram, wherever you want to follow her. Plus, she's planning a wedding, so just like get all the tea on that too. Let us know, follow us. I don't know what I'm saying. I'm ending the show. Deal with it.
Love you.
We love you. Bye. Buttholes.